next speaker is Mr. Shazad Dada and myself, and we will be discussing how UBL became the favorite bank of Pakistan's tech-savvy customers. Please put your hands together for the President and CEO of UBL, Shazad Dada. All right. Mr. Dada, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And so you are the President and CEO of UBL, correct?
That's what I believe I am.
Yes, good. So tell me, how did UBL, the digital transformation of UBL, make it the favorite bank of Pakistan?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, thank you, Hamza and Tarabis, for having us over. Alexandra, thank you for having me here. Delightful to be here. But I need some coffee because I need to wake up.
We need coffee, please.
According to my dear friend, Nadeem Hussain, we commercial bankers are sleeping, so I need some coffee to wake myself up.
But we must highlight the opportunities. That's what Nadeem was doing.
But I also would like to highlight and counter a bit. We are doing over 200 trillion. If you look at the number of transactions we have done, 200 million payments, and there's been a lot of activity that the bank is doing, which I'll talk about. But alhamdulillah, it's been a great journey so far, but I think there's a lot going on, and I'm really looking forward on learning from the colleagues that are presenting today, Nadeem, and obviously I can't not acknowledge the architect of this whole digital transformation that Pakistan is going through, and that's Dr. Ishrat Hussain, my mentor and somebody I've looked up all my life. And I'm really delighted that he's here as a keynote speaker, and he will be telling us how he sees things, because he's also been very engaged with the reform agenda that Pakistan is going through, which will play a very pivotal role in our future journey thus far.
Perfect. So tell us a bit about your digital transformation journey.
So look, we started almost 5 years ago, 2008, and I would say, yes, we have been the choice bank for many of our customers, and I can't thank them enough. It's been a long and a difficult journey, but we can't take the laurels and say we are there and everything is, as Nadeem also highlighted, there are lots of opportunities, lots of trends. I'll share some of the trends that I know that are developing and evolving, and also we'll learn from others. But in our journey, what we put, and again, these are not just words that we are talking about. It's about putting the customer at the center of everything. And literally what we did right at the onset, we put up a innovation lab, design thinking. So anything that we do, any solution, any product, first of all, we need to try to solve those, understanding the customer's need. And rather than doing it without engaging with that customer or understanding that journey, it would be, I think, not a fruitful exercise. And therefore, our Innovation Lab, and I welcome everybody in this room, literally, though I think Zohair will kill me, I invite everybody to come and share with us their issues and see what we are doing. Shazad, who runs our digital bank, can also share with all of you later on. But the whole idea is design thinking, innovation, and what we do. And it's become part of our DNA. And I think there's a lot going on, where we are trying to, what are we trying to do? There's a whole pyramid lives of customers, from the really, really high net worth and large corporates to all the way to your, lower middle class and lower class. And we want to touch each and every one of them using different solutions, different answers to them. And it could be on the payment side, or it could be on the asset lending side. And I think in that, there are lots of solutions we are doing. For example, only understanding one of the things, and we want to be the digital bank with a human touch. With a large cash economy, you cannot ignore the fact that you will need to have phygital. You can't be all digital. You need to have that. We are very blessed to have a customer base of 11 million customers who have trusted us year and year again. And we are also very blessed to have 3 million active digital customers that we have been servicing their needs, doing over 200 billion transactions for them, which has grown 50%. So that's a big number. Bill payments, we are doing 30 million bill payments, one of the highest in the industry. So it's not like we are not doing things. We are up and awake. We are also trying to solve the issues of the customer now, right now, rather than talking about the future, this will happen, that will happen. You can't progress. Change is constant, and change is law, as John F. Kennedy said. And I think we really believe in that. We are really making sure that we address that. And while we are doing that, I think the one challenge that I have, because I'm sure you're going to ask me that, is the cultural change in the organization. And that cultural transformation where it's digital is in your DNA, and I'm very proud to say of my 14,000 employees, we really think digital. We don't think of a solution or a product or service without bringing the whole digital journey into play, and then take it through our digital lab and innovation and design thinking to ensure that that's there. And I think that mindset change was something that took a while, but I'm very happy that that's there, and we want to continue with that lead to continue to be the best digital bank in Pakistan and in the region. And alhamdulillah, we have been blessed with that, with the trust of our customers.
Fantastic. It's definitely been a challenge. I'm not going to rehash the pandemic, but this definitely accelerated the whole digitalization process. And looking at your strategies, what were some of the hurdles that you've encountered over the past couple of years, let's say?
So I touched upon a little bit of that. I think first of all, COVID and with every crisis there are opportunities. I think what COVID did to digital banking and to the digitization of Pakistan economy, I think what we saw in the 2 years, we did not see the last 20 years. And in an odd way, it forced the customers to really go towards the digital channels. And we saw that. Our volumes are 50%. Payments, bill payments, lending, any volume you look at, 50 to 100%. And that's because of the need of the hour. A lot of customers could not go to the branches. Therefore, they had to onboard. A lot of our corporate customers who are very reluctant to get into the digital portals and make payments, bulk payments, did not want to do that. The good thing for us was as I said, we started our journey in 2008. We had seen that this was a trend that's coming, and therefore were ready to really deploy that, and therefore we saw a very high level of adoption. But like I said, one of the biggest challenges was how do we get our people mindset, both internally and externally. But once they cross that bridge, and once they do their first bill payment or first check payment, and they see how easy, how simple, and how safe it is, then they just go wild.
Yes.
Honestly, and that's what we've seen. So what we see is once they have experienced this whole digital journey, and therefore we need to constantly be mindful of what their needs are, and what your needs are will not necessarily be my needs, and more importantly, they won't be the need of the farmer in rural Pakistan, in Sargodha, for example, and they won't be the need of a guy, a trader sitting in Jodia Bazaar. So we have to be very, very flexible, agile, and be able to adapt to that. And sometimes I think the other hurdle is our mentality that we have, one size fits all. We have come up with this thing, now let's push it through. Let's put targets and because that's how we have been doing banking historically. And that's what we have been trying to address.
So definitely going digital is way simpler. It's easier to do your banking online. But what is UBL doing to access the underbanked, to become more financially inclusive?
So what we have done is, first of all, I think what we have realized, we can't do everything ourselves. And I think Nadeem also touched upon it. A lot of other speakers are also going to touch upon it. I think the whole digital journey, it's all about collaboration. And it's all about finding the right fintech partners or the right service providers who can really help you. And you need to have, you're providing the platform. It's an open platform that you have. So what we have been doing is working with a number of key players. So on the agri-tech, for example, we're working with a number of companies that are dealing with these farmers and providing them with asset lending products. And that's already underway. Using a number of tools that mitigate the risk, whether it's through insurance, whether it's through weather forecasting, whether it's using technology to that needs. We are also have been blessed with branchless banking and another regulation or another initiative taken by Dr. Ishrat Hussain. And we have this Omni platform where we are dealing with over 15,000 retailers that are on agents for us and using them to really help distribute the asset. But again, I think what we also blessed with and then cannot not use that competitive advantage is our presence in those markets. We are one of the most rural banks in Pakistan. So we are in parts of Pakistan where no other bank is there. And I think the human knowledge or intelligence that you get from that presence can be cultivated into digital lending for them. And I think this, again, digital bank with a human touch is something that we really are honing in on and doing that. I'm not saying you can't do it without physical presence, and I think these 5 digital banking license will show us how that's done in a manner, but we are going to also play to our competitive advantage and further augment on it.
Very good, very good. And how are you staying aligned with new technologies?
Well, that's a challenge. It's seminars like this supporting the ecosystem. I think what people like Terabis are doing here or what we are doing, there's so much out there to learn. And I think with media, that the way media plays its role, I think we can all, if nothing else, go on YouTube if you have time after you come to work and spend and see what's happening. There are lots going on. So there's a lot of learning. We are engaging with some of the best service providers out there. We have, in our digital transformation, we work with some of the best players globally, engaged with them, hired them, and they helped us with this whole transformation and target operating model. Again, I can take the name here. IBM was our partner there, and we work with them very closely, and I think they played an important role in our journey. We have been using this other case studies. We've been talking to other banks who are in one shape or form been our supporters, or we have relationship with them, whether it's on the financial institution side. I mean, my friends are sitting here from Standard Chartered. We have worked with them very closely. Now they're at Mashriq. We have, again, enjoyed a very good relationship with them. So again, the fact that we are in the market, that's one. But then there are tons of technology companies, Kamran, Nishad is sitting there, who has also got a digital bank license, again, a very long-standing client of ours. So, we can work with, with Naeem is there. Again, somebody I've been working on a number of initiatives. So I think the uniqueness is that we have been collaborating and working with our customers who are also our biggest supporter. And I think collaborating with them, they have something we don't, or we have something they don't. And I think the real win is when you take 1 + 1 and make it 5. And that's been honestly what's helped us succeed so far. But I keep on repeating to my team and myself, don't take the success or laurels of it and say we are. And again, take the nudges and the criticism positively, as Nadeem is saying, and wherever we think we are not doing enough,
Nadeem, he's not going to let that go.
No, he and I have this thing. We are friends. He's been my senior. So,
very good, very good. Collaboration is definitely important, and the collaboration and onboarding of fintech technology as well is also very important. How do you collaborate with new fintechs and new startups that come and knock at your door and propose their new solutions to you?
The digital team is constantly engaging with them. There's no bad idea. And we are constantly looking at how through an open API platform we can embrace them. Clearly, I think we have to be selective on who we want to work with. And there are multiple providers out there, or solutions out there, and then we work with them. We make sure that from a data governance point of view, from a cybersecurity point of view, they integrate well with us. We have comfort. We also understand what their ethos is, what their value system is. To me, that also plays a very important role in our digital journey. We don't want to work with any and everyone. We want to work with banks or with digital partners or fintechs or any other service provider that share our shared vision. Really, and what is that? That is indeed impacting and having an impact on society. Really addressing, as I again go through that value chain, the entire customer base. Have we done that right now? No. We have 3 million customers, but we are slicing every day. The aim is how do we do it? How do we make that 3 million, 30 million? And some will need payments platforms, some will need asset platforms, some will require a different thing. Understanding what they need today and finding a solution. I'll give you an example. It's not an asset product, but a lot of customers, in the West, again, we all travel a lot, and I used to live there. I mean, this whole checks, depositing a check. Why do you have to come to a branch and deposit a check? Today, open my app and you can deposit a check instantaneously, in seconds, if not in minutes. And I think that whole experience, no other bank in Pakistan is offering that. It required engaging with the state bank, making sure that there are enough checks and balances so they, because from a fraud point of view. And that, again, has made and saved this customer the hassle of going into a branch and depositing a check. Also from law and order point of view and safety point of view. So these are things that are need of the hour and what we have. Same thing about bill payments. Like I said, over 30 million bills get paid, whether it's your school bill, your electricity bill. And let's face it, in the high inflationary environment with the cost of cost of living is going up, for us to serve a customer in a branch is 10 times more than serving them on an alternate channel, whether it's an app, whether it's a call center, whether it's a ATM. And that's how we are trying to take traffic out. So when customer comes to a branch, when he or she comes, they really get served for the purpose they've come, and things that they cannot, that can be done remotely are done remotely. And they are applauding that because it's saving them tons of time, making them efficient. And again, it's also addressing the different stratas of society and different communities and different genders. What we launched this Uruj digital account, which is an all-women's account, and it's been a roaring success because what we tried to do and understand first what the needs are, and did not try to come up with the same level of solutions or loan products and things that were applied uniformly, but we really catered to what the needs of the women generation, society needs, and also sort of sliced it and diced it based on their age groups. And what we found was they really applauded that. And we are constantly being agile enough to customize and tailor that.
So do you use behavioral insights to remain
competitive? Absolutely. That's something, I think that's the behavioral insight. And there again, we are partnering with some of the best companies out there that are providing us those services on a very, very timely basis. And that's also helping me, especially on my lending side, because behavioral insights, not the traditional ones, the 5 C's that we were given in credit, they'll always remain there. But the person who has changed their address 5 times, for example, through the data that we get through behavioral science, is a higher risk customer than somebody who's been living in their place for the last 5 years. Now, that kind of data we can get from our data providers. Or, for example, if somebody is topping up their, have late payments and they've been sending reminders by their mobile operator that, look, you haven't paid your bill, I think that makes me more nervous in lending to him or her rather than somebody who's been making their bills. And as you know, we have a highly high tele-density, over 80%, if not 90%. And I think what we find is a lot of them are prepaid rather than postpaid. That data is held by the 5 or 4 rather telco players, and we collaborate with them, we work with them, and we use that behavioral data. Then there's other data available from different other sources, which is where I think the collaboration is, and I'll touch upon that in the end.
So to wrap up, what does the digital bank of the future look like in your eyes?
Well, I wish if I had the answer to that, I wouldn't be sitting here. I would be sitting probably somewhere in...
You're going to make it happen, Mr.
I'm going to make it happen. And I think I can just tell you, we're sitting today and what me and my team are discussing, first of all, I'm very blessed to have a great team, and a lot of them are here. And I think the digital bank of the future, first of all, I think entities or people who are in the financial services business, if they think digital is not here, or it's not real, or it's not coming, I think they need to really wake up. It's real, it's here, and it's of the future. I think you have to be smart. By smart, what do I mean? I think if you look at the digital banks, first of all, the S in the smart is be simple. Customers' needs are, they need simpler, better, faster. They don't want to get complicated or too complex in how we do things. So really provide solutions that really, one, understand what the customer needs, try to not fit one size fits all, and be very smart about it. The A in the smart, the M in the smart is modular. We touched upon that. Open APIs, work with different suppliers, and really be, bogged down that I want to do everything myself. I think there are lots of partnerships. That's the model, whether it's on collaboration on the customer side, whether we talked about, Nadeem talked about embedded finance. That's something that's absolutely the future. And I think embedded finance partners are a number of them. You can become a partner to a number of players. In Pakistan, for example, Daraz, Ant Financial, what Ant is doing in the east or west. So I think the modular part in the M is that. A is for agile. I think you have to be nimble. You can't even take months. You have to take weeks and days to be able to, internally and externally. If you don't do it, somebody else will do it. So you really need to be agile in that. And the R in that is really be somebody that people can rely on you and be resilient. And I think that is something that requires, a very what you would call it, ability to provide the right frameworks on that.
It's definitely a
and be the relevant,
yeah,
and be relevant to the whole thing. You can't be a small player. You have to have the relevance in that marketplace, in that subject matter, and be relevant to that. And then the T is something that I think we don't talk much about, but I think it's very important, and that is transparency. You have to be, your core values, ESG compliant, zero emission. I think these are nice buzzwords, but really at UBL, we take it to heart. We don't want to work with somebody who's not propagating diversity and inclusion. We don't want to have vendors or suppliers who have lower standard of governance or weak governance. We do all of that in the onboarding stage. And I think with that, what we are finding that the partners we have in a modular setup that I talked about are really giving us that unique position and really putting us right at the forefront of this whole digital change that's happening. So again, I go with this whole smart approach. And I think the digital bank is really the one that's invisible. You don't have to see it. It's ambiguous. It's a bank that nobody can see, but it's doing everything for you. And that's what a digital bank should be, rather than putting yourself at everything and then slowing down the call. So you're at the center, you're the most relevant, but you are also invisible to the customer.
Thank you, Mr. Dada. You have quite a challenge ahead of you, but it is the time and place to be in your position.
In conclusion, I would just say we are very excited.
Yes, it is exciting.
We think, even though we are going through some challenging times, I think the way State Bank is really taking the digital agenda forward, and we are welcoming the 5 digital banks because hopefully we learn a lot from them. We may collaborate with them. We like to see what they have to offer. There's no harm in plagiarizing as long as you declare it. So we are looking forward on learning from the best and the brightest. At the same time, we are not going to sit still. We are keep on going to be running because this is a place where a lot's going on, and there are lots of global models, and there are lots of learning. One last point I would just say in that is data governance and data protection. Look, banks historically have been the custodians and what we call Sadiq and Amin for the depositors. Banks, if you look at our model, it's 10% our equity, 90% is depositors' money, and protecting that deposit and being the safe custodians of that has been the second and the more important thing that's also coming with us for a very long time. We have been there for 60 plus years, and many other banks, is the data. Very rich data, which a lot of our competitors want, and suppliers and vendors want. And that data, how do we protect it both for the customer and from a cybersecurity, because you know that cybercrime is on the rise. And how we manage that will also be a very important challenge that we need to do it. And alhamdulillah, we have had a very good track record on that, but again, we're not going to sit still. You can't look at the past or the present and take, you really have to prepare yourself, and we are spending a lot of money, time, and energy in ensuring that we are protecting the data the same way we have protected other people's deposit. And I can assure you, if you're not a UBL, so I'm going to do some branding here, right? There's no free lunch.
That's right. There is a free lunch.
There is a free lunch, yeah. No, trust me, Hamza is going to find a way to get back to them. But if you haven't become a UBL customer, please go visit our booth outside, onboard yourself, become a customer, because I can promise you, and this is my promise to you, you will not be disappointed. It's an amazing, amazing app, and it's an amazing journey, and we'll ensure if there's something that's missing and you think it's missing, let us know, and we'll make sure we incorporate that. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dada, for sharing your experience with us and your insight.